on D Live, but people are there posting.
Good morning, good
Oh,
evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. I am Josh. That is Jason. This is the Redpill Project's Daily Dose, live with you Monday through Thursday, 7:30 or 6:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Looks like we're having a problem on D Live. Let me go in here real quick and see what's going on with D Live. I just saw someone posting about it. I see everything's online. D Live is not. If you guys are on D Live, you guys give me a thumbs up if you guys can see us on D Live. Usually I have this live stream going as well, so. But this is the Redpill Project's Daily Dose. This is where we come to you with the unfoldment of the global conspiracy. And it says the streamer is offline. That doesn't make any sense at all. Let's just go here. I'm going to go ahead and refresh this guy. Click there. Do that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And hit him again. And we're going to see what happens there on D Live. We're going to see if this data gets sent and the streamer comes on live. Let's see. Let's give it about 10 seconds here. Sending data. Unable to connect. Uh-oh. Hold on, guys. I got to get D Live going here. So let me turn this off. Go like that. See if we can connect to D Live. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, this is where we talk about the unfoldment of the global conspiracy. And looks like we're online now. There you go. Perfect. Hey, D Live. What is up, everybody? Glad we could come on in there and get that working for you guys. Sorry for the slight delay. That was my bad. Well, it really wasn't my bad. It was a technical issue, a true technical issue. And yeah, so we had Sleepy Joe's State of the Union last night, Jay. Now do we understand why they call him Sleepy Joe?
yeah.
You know, we call this, what was it? It's called sleepy socialism. They implement socialism while putting you to sleep.
Yeah.
That's what they do. Other than that, there really wasn't too much news today. We have some interesting things that I've been looking at. Pelosi did say, I don't know if you caught this, Jay, we cannot require someone to be vaccinated against COVID-19. This was from Pelosi. Now, that's interesting, right? But we know they're going to damn well try. And so most likely what we're going to see come from Congress is they cannot now, but they're damn well going to try in the future. And that just comes by saying, well, we just have to reverse HIPAA, and then we have to get around that First Amendment religious rights thing. And see, here's the thing, is the federal government is not going to infringe on that, Jason. The state and local governments will. Because they believe they can get away with it. Just like the state of Colorado and the state of New York and the state of California are already doing.
Yep.
State of Colorado came out and mandated colleges and schools must have the vaccine. Now, they do have what's called a religious exemption form or a medical exemption form that you can fill out. Now, this is interesting because in the state of Colorado that I'm in, the exemption form they just sent to me usually was just a piece of paper, a waiver that you signed, and you sent it back in. Now, I have to take the form to a doctor. The doctor has to be an immunologist and has to sign off on the paperwork for the religious exemption or medical exemption. Or I have to go and register on the state health website and take a course on vaccinations. Now, how about this? I shouldn't have to do anything. I should be able to just say, no. And if they deny my kids entry to public school, then I should be able to sue because that's a public school. My taxpayer dollars pay for that. And if they say, well, then you need to take your children out of public school, then I say, well, then I need to take my taxpayer money out of the public schools.
Yeah, then why do I need to pay for taxes?
Yeah. And so I've had a lot of people asking me, Josh, when are we going to do this tax protest? And I'm telling you, I think it is the one thing that we all need to do. But We can only do it when we have a platform of distribution, dissemination, and decentralization. That is the only time that we're going to be able to do something of that magnitude and scale. And the reason I say that is because if we try to do this anywhere else, they are going to shut us down. Absolutely shut us down. And so it's going to be grassroots. It's going to be like that. We got a few, I got a few things that I've been trying to kind of put together in idea structure of how to do this. If anybody's interested in volunteering and helping, let me know. Let's work together.
Yeah. So I'm totally in on this, just so you know. But I've got to say, Josh, we didn't really get to do much of a pregame, and sometimes I let my feelings out with you. But the more I got to thinking about what happened with Rudy Giuliani, the more pissed off I got. Mm-hmm. Then I hear that Hunter Biden's in Tulane. He's going to be added to the curriculum, and he's going to talk about fake news of all fucking things, right?
Yep.
Rudy Giuliani, in the U.S. government's, the
new witch hunt.
Yeah, the new witch hunt. They're doing exactly what they did. They said Donald Trump was doing, but they're literally doing it illegally. And, ironically, they went after both of Trump's attorneys. And I find that kind of interesting. And so, one, it has me pissed off. I'm so pissed off about just everything that's happening, and that nobody has the balls to do anything. So one, I'm really happy to hear you say to do that. But two, how much longer? What's going to happen when Maricopa County comes out and it's revealed that it was fraudulent? Because I think it's going to.
I do. Yeah, Maricopa County is going to come out. It's going to be revealed that it was fraudulent. Other red states are going to follow suit. And you remember what I talked about? Federalist 46. You remember this specifically? I talked about Federalist 46. Back in January, I said that it's up to the 10th Amendment. It is up to the states to take out the federal government, because they're the only ones who can intervene. Federalist 46 says the people need to practice disquietude and civil disobedience, and the state and local governments need to have outspoken governors and state legislation that opposes the draconian, tyrannical, and oppressive orders of the federal government. So what's going to cascade out of Arizona when this comes out and being shown fraudulent is other states are going to follow suit. Legislation is going to be propagated. This will go to the Supreme Court, which is undeniable. It cannot be denied. And if it is, it just shows complicity. But there's so much more going on. I mean, we have them basically formulating their ammunition. This is what they're doing. They're building up their ammunition to fire it at us. Now, my problem with taking that attack and getting bigger and doing these things is we become a target. I become
the enemy.
A target. So if I organize a grassroots campaign of millions upon millions of Americans not paying taxes, guess who the IRS is coming after?
You.
They're coming after me. And I can't afford that right now. I can't, that's a battle that's going to be very difficult for me and my family. And so this is why I'm saying is if people want to do this, I need volunteers. I need people to come in. We're gonna have to do a lot of preparatory work before we do this.
But this is the exact reason why people don't do it. Yeah. Is because they know that the government will come after them. Exactly. And this is exactly why the people should do this, right? I mean, it's always been the government. We shouldn't fear the government. The government should fear the people. So. Why do we not have funds to actually defend people when they want to go after the government rather than fund government agencies to go after people, right? I mean, what a fucking novel idea. And so I'm just over it. And, but once again, what are the repercussions by creating something like this? Well, it's not going to be all, you're going to go buy $1 million houses with your BLM money. I can tell you that. Right. What's going to happen is you're going to get pressed from every which way you can. They can.
The IRS is going to come after you. The FBI is going to come after you.
Yep.
You're going to be deemed a terrorist. They will. I'm telling you, not they might. They will. They have weaponized the DOJ. They weaponized the Department of Justice. They weaponize the Department of Treasury because this is what they do. This is their MO. And I understand that if we started doing this, right? I had a very mysterious message for me on our platform one day. It was from someone, I didn't know who it was. They just signed up to the site and they left as soon as they sent me the message. And they said, be very careful. There's people here there's people watching you, okay, that don't have your best interest in mind. As if they were like formulating some type of investigation on me. And I'm sitting there going, the fuck did I do? You know what? If it's illegal, if it's an act of terrorism to support and defend the Constitution, then I am such. Our country was founded upon a formulation of legal documents. We had the Articles of Confederation, we had the Federalist Papers, we had the United States Constitution, which became the foundational legal document, plus the Declaration of Independence, which was the primary foundational document of our country. Now, all of these documents are prescribed within a court of law and have legal relevance. If you remember back in 2010 with Barack Obama and they were trying to pass health care, they didn't go to the Constitution and say it was constitutionally mandated. They said in the Declaration of Independence, our country made it upon the foundation that all men were created equal in the pursuit of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And that in the pursuit of life meant health care for everybody. That was their defense. And the court said, yes, you're absolutely right, because that was a foundational document of our country, which has legal precedence. And so, in looking at that, does that also give me the right to remove a government that no longer abides by the constitutional declaration that came from that? Yes or no? Mm-hmm. And I want to find the exact quote, because I'm not good at memorizing things. Sometimes I need a little inspiration to be able to read something, right? But see, if you go to the Declaration of Independence, right, and you read the second paragraph, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Now, this is what Nancy Pelosi, Shift, and all these guys said back in 2008, 2010, that this is why we should have universal health care and that we have the ability to put a health care system in. It is not derived from the 10th Amendment. It's in the Declaration that it was for the people, by the people, that is for life. So we get to do it. This is what they said. So this is a legal document of our country. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. It doesn't say the consent of the majority. It says the consent of the governed. That means that each person has an individualized consent. That whenever, and this is the most important, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive to these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it and to institute a new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its power in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. This is a legal, foundational legal document of our country, which has precedence within the legal community and in court. And so, if anybody out there that's with the federal government wants to look at me and say that, listen, I am going to protect my First Amendment, the United States Constitution, with my Second Amendment and my guns. And if you infringe upon that, you're going to have fucking hell to pay. Not just me, everybody else out there. There's millions of us. Millions. And we're not taking it anymore. Because socialism, sleepy socialism, is sweeping through the United States right now. And you know what socialism does? It undermines our constitutional republic. And that means that now we resort back to the Declaration of Independence. And I know those are some strong words for some people to hear. I know that if you're a liberal, you're probably plugging your ears and crying in the fucking corner right now. Okay? But I'm telling you, this isn't revolutionary. This isn't me being a terrorist or anything like that. This is me being a fucking American. And if any law enforcement, if anybody out there in the military wants to investigate me because I say this, then you are the fucking problem. You are part of the problem. The name of this episode is the Gestapo. Now, Jason, did you know that in California and New York and other major liberal strongholds, they're having an increasing amount of problems hiring police officers?
Imagine that.
20% of the police force is on their way out, going into retirement. But you've had, I think 60% of all police jobs are not being filled. And you have massive people leaving the force in troves in New York. Okay? Now, this happened in Georgia a long, long time ago. And you know what they did, Jay?
What'd they do?
They reduced the qualifications to become a police officer, even letting people who were prior felons become police officers. Now, think about that logic. Do we think we'd have more problems or less with something like that?
I don't know. Did it work?
Obviously not.
So there's our answer.
So also, Joe Biden. So Roxy said Joe Biden said last night again, no amendment in the Constitution is absolute. You know what, Joe Biden? Fuck you. You are a tyrannical, oppressive piece of shit. You're an illegitimate president. You do not stand for the American people. Okay. And you will be removed by the power of the people through constitutional jurisdiction and legal authority. We are working on that as we speak. And that is legal precedence. That's what we're talking about here. Through legal means. And that's the recounts and all these other things that we have going on. So the police officers are leaving in troves. Why? Because you have to fund police and everything like that. But then you go to Seattle. Or what was it? It was Seattle or Portland. Sorry, Portland. Mayor Wheeler. You remember this guy? Remember the mayor of Wheeler? And he's like, oh, Antifa, you can stay. Oh, set up your autonomous zone. Oh, we love you.
There?
And they sat out there in front of his house with the bullhorn. He's like, I love you. Why do you guys hate me so much? I love you. Now he's like, we're unmasking Antifa. If you see anything, report it. Report it to the police.
Oh, he doesn't like it when it turns
out. Oh, man. Whew. Oh. Oh. Damn, Mayor. But you know what, guys? You have to look at not what's happening, but you have to look at what the left hand is not showing you. We're looking at what the right hand's doing. The right hand's defund the police riots. Police are being set up. They're trying to do their job. They're getting thrown out in the limelight. They're losing their jobs. They're getting convicted of murder for doing their fucking jobs, right? Like this Mariah Bryant girl who goes to stab this other young black lady and gets shot and killed by the police because the police officer was defending this other black person. And now this police officer and the police station are being sued from every fucking angle. You have this one police officer who goes on TikTok and makes a joke about, what's his name? What's that basketball player's name?
LeBron James.
LeBron's, we got a man out here. He's African-American. He's got a knife. What should I do, LeBron? You just want me to let him... Okay, you don't want me to stop him or anything? Remember the whole TikTok one? This police officer got suspended.
Fucking ridiculous.
And he raised $80,000 in one day after being suspended.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Is police officers are going to say, I'm no longer going to do my job. But do you remember back in the early 2000s when they started hiring? Remember they created the Department of Homeland Security? Everybody's like, Homeland? That's what Nazi Germany and Soviet Russia called their fucking home. Homeland, right?
Yeah.
But George W. Bush created Homeland Security, right? And the DHS basically took over TSA, Transit Security Administration. You remember this?
Yep.
Do you remember that TSA's requirements were heavily reduced? And so I was in the service during this time. Not only that was I in the service, but I took an oath as a military police officer in front of a federal judge. Okay?
Right.
Which means that I had the authority to do certain actions. Well, every federal officer out there has an authority to make an arrest depending if someone is committing a felony or not, except for TSA agents. TSA agents, I believe, up till 2010 could not arrest you. They could not detain you. But you know what? They pushed and they tried, and now they can. They pushed and they tried. You know what? One of the biggest reasons that federal law enforcement unions pushed back and said no on that is because they did not have the qualifications or fit the requirements. They didn't go to, the federal law, FLETC. They didn't go to FLETC, right? So every federal law enforcement, I don't care where you go, if you're a federal law enforcement officer, you go to FLETC and you get training to become a federal law enforcement officer, except for TSA agents. Okay?
That makes no sense.
That's right. You know why it makes no sense, Jay? Because you need fucking zombies. So what's going to happen here, Jason, and I want to show you this. The Department of Homeland Security was the first part of producing the Nazis' Fourth Reich's Gestapo. Okay?
Yeah.
You have, and nothing against DHS agents out there or TSA agents or anything like that who are TSA agents. Right now, bipartisan groups of lawmakers are pushing for a federal hiring spree. They'll hire more TSA agents. Hire more TSA agents. We're about to have a surge in traffic because everything's opening up. Hire more TSA agents. We need more TSA agents. Okay? This is what's going to happen, Jay. Because you got to remember, you create the artificial scarcity. Problem, reaction, solution.
Right.
They're removing the state-run, locally run police departments. They're pushing police officers out of the way so they don't get in there. This means that only the bad ones that can't go anywhere else are going to stay. This is going to hurt them for a long periods of time. Okay?
Yep.
Eventually, they're going to call for a federal police force, Jason. And when they call for the federal police force, the federal government's going to step in and say, oh, don't worry, we already got the solution to the problem. We'll just deputize all these TSA agents. They're already trained in everything they need to be trained in. All they need to do is be able to hold your hand as they quarantine you this way. And so the federal police officers now become the Gestapo because they don't question authority, because what happens at the economic downturn? You get massive economic downturn, the economy collapses, the dollar clashes, everything in supply base from food, meat, water, gasoline, you have building supplies, everything on that base, gone. We already know it. What was it? Procter & Gamble just came out the other day and said that we have to raise the prices, and we stopped advertising. They stopped fucking advertising because they don't have the supply chain to fit the demand. Wake up, people. Wake up. This is being done because guess what? An artificial scarcity is going to happen. An economic collapse like you've never seen before. When this happens, the shelves are going to be completely empty and there is nothing, no more coming in. No food, no supplies, no gas, nothing. At the same time, World War III will break out. Gas supplies will be shut off. Gas is going to skyrocket to 200 fucking bucks a gallon. Okay? You're going to have electric grid problems. You're going to have energy production problems. Okay? And the local governments will not be able to sustain it. They're going to be crying to the federal government for help and support. And instead of declaring a martial law, you do a soft martial law with DHS under FEMA helping out. Because FEMA is under the Department of Homeland Security. And so FEMA can go and deputize anybody they want within the administration, and government is always the first. Now, Emmy, let me ask you this. If I am a person above you and I'm getting orders from people above me, and I say, Jason, I'm FEMA director so-and-so, you are in Rochester, New York, I need you to get a team together, and I need you to go house to house, and I need you to confiscate all the guns, all the food, all the gold, and all the water. You're going to look at me and say what?
You out of your mind?
And I'm going to say, well, it's either that or I find someone else to do it and you can find a new job. And this is at the beginning, right at the bottom of an economic downturn where there are no fucking jobs. We have 60% unemployment. There is no food on the shelves. And FEMA's giving you food to take home at night to your kids. What are you going to say?
Yes, sir.
Roger that, sir. Don't want to lose my job. Just make sure I'm the last one in the house. That is what is being set up. Guys, they don't have to put legislation out there to take the guns. Wake up. They're going to do it for your own damn well-being. Because your health and safety are more important. And what they're going to do is during this whole downturn, right? Resurgence of the virus in the summer. Because you remember they showed us, even though Donald Trump and the Republicans and medical advisors and doctors all throughout the fucking country last year just said, well, you know, the virus should be gone by the summer because the virus can't survive in the summer because people will be out, will get herd immunity, and people's immune systems are naturally boosted because of the increase in vitamin D. People are more active. But they showed us what? Oh, that wasn't the case because COVID cases spiked July and August. But where did they spike? They spiked in Arizona and Florida, the two places proposed for the fucking RNC. Well, go figure.
Yeah, right.
So you got to ask yourself, this summer is going to be hot. It's going to be real fucking hot. And this is when it's going to happen, and that virus is going to spike up, and that's what they're going to do, Jay. They're going to say, we're going to do health and wellness checks because you're not going to have power and electricity and communication and food, right? And then just like they did in 72, or 42 when they came and got the gold, they're going to do it again. They're going to take supplies because the government needs supplies more than you do. The military needs supplies for our defense more than you do. And they're going to do health and wellness checks, and they're going to come in and they're going to take a tally of what you have in your house. Because this is what the Gestapo does. And you know what, dude? They're going to walk in, they're going to look around, they're going to take some notes, they're going to ask you some questions. Are you a gun owner? How much ammo do you have? And you're going to be like, you're probably holding your gun at the same time. Right? And then they're going to leave. They're going to leave. And you know what they've already done? They had that AI already jacked into their contact lenses. And they've already mapped out your whole fucking house. They know where everything is. All the entry points. They know where you sleep, where your bedroom is, where you're most likely going to be coming out of, what the distance is from the point from your bedroom to your safe. And then at night, they're going to send in a tactical team. They're going to raid your house. They're going to arrest you, and they're going to take your fucking guns. They're going to do that over and over and over and over again. And they're going to put all those people in fucking FEMA camps. Unless we fucking do something. Unless we stand up for what we believe in. Unless we stand up for freedom. Freedom. I wish I had good news.
Silence is powerful.
I wish I had good news.
Yeah.
But listen
Trump's going to do a rally again. Yay. A rally. And I look at it and say, well, for what? What the fuck's that worth, honestly?
Well, you know what? The one person who needs to stand up, who needs to speak up, who needs to say, organize tax events, organize grassroots campaigns to fight back is Trump. It is Jim Jordan. It is Devin Nunes. It is Rand Paul. And we have nothing but silence from these people.
Yep.
And it makes you wonder, because this is something that concerns me. Now, Jay, do you think the liberals knew that conservatives wouldn't be getting the vaccine?
Yes.
They did. So they planned on this. If they had a master plan, do you think they were just going to go in and stick needles in the arms of conservatives? No.
No.
Not over our dead bodies, right?
Right.
And then you have Trump pushing the vaccine, which didn't make any sense either, did it?
Mm-mm.
Then Ivanka pushing the vaccine. And they're telling you to do what? Get the vaccine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Haven't figured it out yet.
I think we figured it out, Jay. Let me go here, get this window. I got to go to properties real quick. Go like that. Boom. This is from Infowars.com, but I saw this article and it actually hit home because I know somebody who's being affected by this right now.
Uh-oh.
Vaccine shedding causing miscarriages and blood clots in unvaccinated females.
Well, you're saying you don't need to get it because it's going to shed to you.
There you go.
It's a virus in itself.
It's a virus in itself. You only need a certain amount of people to get it. Then everybody gets it. These are nanomachines, buddy.
Touch something.
That's right. So I was reading a little bit of this article, and it talks a little bit about vaccine shedding and how it's all conspiracy theory and it's absolute bullshit, right? No, not true. But then we had the former Pfizer vice president blew the lid on the vaccine scheme and said, entirely possible this will be used for massive scale depopulation, right? And so I followed the article and it said, go ahead and type in mRNA vaccine shedding. And so you go in there and it's all these articles. No, there's no such thing. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Oh, it's bullshit. But then you start getting in the 2017 articles where it says exactly this. If you get into older articles about vaccine shedding, that's exactly what it says. Is that the hope is just like herd immunity. The antigens produced by the vaccine will spread to those that are non-vaccinated.
Yep.
And now we're starting to see the effects because look at that news article. I mean, you cannot decline that. You cannot deny that. Vaccine shedding causing miscarriages and blood clots in unvaccinated females.
Causing people not to have their periods and everything else.
Causing women to not have their periods? I'm going to ask all the women and men out there, how many women do you know right now that have missed their period in the last few weeks?
My daughter. Yep.
Now go and ask that person if they've been around somebody who had the vaccine. I shit you not.
Wow.
Now do you understand why Donald Trump was saying get the vaccine? That's fucking scary, isn't it? And so now we're seeing it. Me, I do, many.
Yep. Yep.
You don't have to take the vax for it to kill you, guys. Tony Longo says, what does this mean? It means that if you just come in contact with somebody who's been vaccinated, you become symptomatic of the same symptoms that they get from the side effects.
Excuse me.
Well, you know, so someone said, how do you medically explain this? I don't know. I'm not an immunologist. I'm not a vaccinologist. I'm not any of this. I do know someone who has a PhD from MIT in biological toxicology that I could call and probably find out. But let's just start with this. Let's just utilize some logic here. Is when you get the mRNA vaccine, it goes into your bloodstream, it goes into your body, it enters a cell, it goes into the cell nucleus, and the nucleus says, oh my God, this virus, I need to do something about it. I start producing antigens. Now, has anybody ever heard of something called pheromones? Human beings give off pheromones. This is very well documented, very well known, right? Perfumes are built with pheromones, okay? Pheromones arouse, they do different types of things. They have different dopamine and serotonin reactions just through smell because it's a sensory organ. Well, a lot of the things that we take into our sensory organ, smell, we don't notice, including those things that are invisible. And so, they can't explain herd immunity. But what if herd immunity was simply a pheromone that you inhale that spikes an epigenetic response within your body? And they fucking know this. So because I get a vaccination, I have certain antigens. When I come in contact with somebody, right, my body is on the defensive because we're in a massive stress-induced environment, correct? My body is on the defensive. It doesn't want to get sick. And I come in contact with someone who does not have those antigens because our bodies can smell each other subconsciously. And it says, hey, you don't have this antigen. The body goes, well, send it over to me. and it releases a pheromone, and epigenetically your body starts to implement that pheromone, that biochemical response within your system. This is herd immunity. And the same thing's happening right now with vaccines. But what if that was a thing? What if they were waiting for herd immunity? What if the vaccine itself is a virus? It is exactly what we think it is. It is harmful and it is a virus. And just like herd immunity, it spreads because everybody needs to have the antigen so nobody dies, right? You have to have that primary buildup. And they plan for exactly that. Or it's fucking nanobots. And every time you come in contact, physical contact, with someone who's vaccinated, they spread it to you. And it's just as if you had the vaccine yourself.
Yep.
But you know, guys, the time for bullshitting, it's over. It is time that we started to actually take action. It is the time that we start to do things. And we cannot put our hope, our faith, and our faith and our fate in someone else. We can't. It doesn't work that way. I wish. You know, I always go back to the same analogy. I go to the old man and the flood. Remember this analogy, Jay? I talk about it a lot. The old man and the flood. There's a flood coming and the police knock on his door and they say, "Old man, you need to leave." He goes, "Nope, nope, 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 not leaving. I believe in God and God loves me and God will save me." And they said, "Whatever." The next day, the floodwaters cover his whole bottom floor. He's up in his bedroom. He gets a knock on his bedroom window. It's the Coast Guard in a small little boat. And they're saying, old man, you need to come with us. The floodwaters are going to continue the rise." He goes, "Nope, nope, nope, nope. God loves me and I believe in God and I have faith that God will save me." The next day, the floodwaters raise and the old man is on top of his roof and here comes the helicopter. Helicopter comes down. It's the fire department. They say, "Old man, the waters are going to continue the raise. Get in the helicopter. Get in the helicopter." He goes, "Nope, nope, nope, nope. God loves me. God's going to save me. I have faith that God will save me." The next day, the Coast Guard, the police, and the firemen, they find the old man's dead body floating in the water. At the same time, the old man floats up in the heaven. He goes through the pearly gates of St. Peter, and he kind of looks a little pissed off and distraught. And he goes up to the throne of God and goes, "God, I don't understand it. I've been loyal to you my whole life. I absolutely love you and adore you. I worshipped you every day. And you said you would save me, and I believed you would save me." He goes, "What are you talking about, old man? I sent you a policeman, I sent you a Coast Guard, and I sent you a fireman, and you rejected all of them. You had every opportunity to take my help, and you rejected them all." And see, sometimes we need to be reminded of this little parable, this little tale. That Jesus is not floating down on a big old cloud in a silver unicorn to come save us.
Right.
That God works through us. That we have to save ourselves. That it is through ourselves, through the unification of us within community, through planning and preparation, through having a plan and goals and understanding the agenda, understanding the tactics used by our enemy, against us, that we can be victorious. That God can work through us. If you have a plan, by golly, God will work through you. You know that, I know that, we all know that. If you have a plan and you can see that plan through till the end, and you have the courage, the dedication, the strength to do it, God will work through you, absolutely, 100%. You know it as well as I do. That's called prayer. And it works. But that's something that exists within you. If that doesn't exist within you, you're just that old man sitting at home waiting for someone else to do it. It's time we save ourselves. It's time that we unite with those brothers and those sisters that we might disagree with. Because you know what? We're all in the same boat. They're not just trying to kill us. They're trying to kill all of us. And they're starting with the extermination of white people. I'm not going to lie there. They are starting with the extermination of white people. We're seeing the bringing back of segregation, of prejudice and racism towards white men and women. And guess what? Liberal white men and women are leading it. What was this article I saw today? This was a incredible article that I just saw a little while ago. And I just got to pull it up. I want to see the title. Because if I just read the title, you'll get it. Wrong group. There it is. Over 50% of liberal white women under 30 have a mental health issue. Are we worried yet? Yeah. Basically what the Democrats do is they do something called projection. They project what they're doing onto their enemy. So someone just said Jim Crow laws, right? So what they're doing is they're taking Jim Crow laws and putting them on white people and saying it's not racist because if you're a white person who says it's racist, you're the racist. They're taking micro-racist tendencies, right? Anything that could be considered micro-racist. The color black in a Crayola box. Oh, that's fucking racist. Remove that white fucking crayon. It's racist. Why is the white crayon always the first one? Why is the white crayon always the one in the middle? Right? These people are fucking mentally ill. But guess what?
What?
They already got them.
Yeah, they sure did.
1984, we got a fucking room full of zombies, people. The liberals, The Walking Dead already happened. And it's called fucking liberalism. It's called Antifa. It's called BLM. That's the fucking Walking Dead. Now think about how logical that sounds after they all lined up to get their vaccine shot.
Right.
I'm not racist. I just talk the truth, guys. I do everything in my power to speak my mind. And for the longest time, I held back. For the longest time, I held my tongue. You want to know why? Because censorship's a bitch. It's not easy losing 75,000 subscribers overnight. Then building that up to 6,000 and losing that within a matter of weeks. It's not easy having, a Facebook page and a Facebook group with over 40,000 people deleted overnight. 12 years of memory of my children, of my family, deleted overnight. Because of what I think. For what I believe. That's powerful. They fucking do that to you. They silence you by that way.
Yep.
Now, Elon Musk, listen, I've been listening to a lot of Glenn Beck because the guy is right to an extent, but I wish that he would fucking wake up and see the bigger picture and realize that this evil, it goes much deeper than socialism. All right? Elon Musk fired this Ramos guy. Did you hear about this guy? This guy was a community organizer trying to unionize Tesla. And Elon Musk came out and said, why would you want to unionize Tesla where you have to pay dues and everything like that? We already offer stellar health care and stock options, and we pay you really well already. There's no reason to unionize, right? And he posted this on Twitter. And he ends up firing this guy. Well, the state of California came back and said Tesla needs to hire this guy back, compensate him for the time of work that he missed, and Elon Musk needs to delete that tweet. Now, this was some time ago. Now, think about this. Does Elon Musk look like the type of person that gives a fuck what anybody else says about him?
No.
Elon deleted the tweet. Elon hired the guy back. Now, that's how much fucking power the state of California has. We are seeing the rise of the Fourth Reich, guys. And I don't want to say that it's too late, but it's getting damn close.
Yep.
And somebody needs to sound the alarm. Somebody needs to stand up and call the fucking ball. General Flynn, call the ball. Donald Trump, call the ball. You know what that means. You know what needs to happen. We are at the precipice. Americans and people worldwide are waking up. We are dealing with an evil of the likes that the world has never seen before. We are dealing with situations, with consequences that are going to be felt as repercussions for generations to come. They are spending us into oblivion.
Yeah, what are we like? Isn't like each citizen like $50,000 in debt?
Oh, well, how about this?
Taxes.
In Florida, McDonald's has to pay people $50 just to come in for an interview. Because sitting home and collecting federal funding, federal welfare, you make more money than you will working at McDonald's. You will be making more money anywhere. The truckers' unions are talking about how they cannot pay anybody $20, $25 an hour to just go drive a truck a few miles, a dump truck, and dump a load. Nobody wants to because they're sitting home making more money.
Yep. That's why you got to respect the guy that's still working, man. You know?
Well, I love that. I love that, right? I love that. But you know what the problem with people who are still working?
What's that?
They're all tradesmen. They're all skilled trade. And guess what's happening on the other side of the house that we just talked about? You can't be a skilled tradesman if you have no trade to be skilled in. If there's no supplies for you to do, if all you have is demand and no supply, if there's no materials to build, the plumb, then those businesses fail very fast. And that's what we're seeing right now. We're seeing that. You see that every day, and it concerns you. I see it every day, and it concerns me.
Yep.
And if you haven't bought ammo, you better buy it now, if you love ammo. Because that's another one that's going to be very, very scarce in the coming days. Because that's what they do. They don't have to take your guns away. They can just take your ammo away. They can make it so scarce that a box of 100 bullets costs thousands of dollars. Because you got to remember, they control the economic systems. The people who own Remington and all these other gun companies and bullet manufacturing companies, they own them. All the parts and supplies that go in there, the mining of all the materials to make bullets, guess what? They own them. It's coming, guys. I don't think it's too late. I definitely don't think it's too late, but we all need to stand up. We need to unify. We need to come together as a community. We need to have plans in place. We need to understand how, within the realm of legality, we can take back our country. And we are doing that on the socialredpill.com. You're more than welcome to join us. I do, if you guys see this one, if you want to sponsor this podcast, my email right there. There's also information on how to get there. But socialredpill.com, guys, please join. There's a free membership. Make sure you put the www in front, but it's a free membership. Just join. Say hi. Write me a message. I want to volunteer. I'll go create a free group, and it'll be, grassroots or whatever. We can go all in there, and everybody can start planning. But how about this? Don't focus on one person and expect that one person to do everything. Let's all share. Let's all build this together. Let's all do this together. We got over 6,000 people on that platform. We can come together and we can make strides. We can make progress. We can wake up millions. 6,000 can wake up millions. Absolutely. So let's do it. So let's fucking do it. Because you know what? We have everything to lose if we don't. You have everything to lose, including generations of your children's and their children's lives. Living under a tyrannical and oppressive, maniacal evilness that'll strip them of their rights, of their freedoms, to where in 10 years, your grandchildren will not recognize what freedom is.
It'll be a thing of the past.
It'll be a thing of the past. And remember what they're doing with the Mandela effect and shit like that. They are already changing history. Slowly, over time. But I'm telling you, watch out, because something's coming. Something is coming. Something big. Bigger than we could ever imagine. I don't know what it is. I don't know how to tell you what it is, but I'm telling you, a false flag of some sorts is coming. Now, is this going to happen before or after the release of the information per UFOs and aliens? You know what I think is going to happen there? I think the June report is going to come out, and it's going to be very vague. It's going to be, we don't know what it is.
Exactly.
That's all it's going to be. We don't know what it is.
More bullshit.
It could be this, it could be that, but we don't know what it is. No, we never made contact.
A light anomaly reflecting off of a satellite lens.
Yeah. Prompted by swamp gas and blowing a big orange flame in the sky that shot, and yeah, it's going to be a big fucking nothing burger. You want to know why? Because Trump's not in power.
Yep.
Because they don't want you to know.
Yeah.
But something is coming. This shit is going to get a lot worse before it ever gets better. And if people who have big audiences keep their fucking mouths shut like they are doing now, because guess what? O'Reilly, Tucker, Beck, Trump, Flynn, they all know exactly what I'm talking about. They could sit up there and say exactly what I'm saying as well.
Be out of a job the next day.
Well, I don't think they'd be out of something the next day.
So Bernadette Burke just said, and I got to talk about this one. Now they're saying that the Mandela effect, that Tom Cruise didn't dance in his underwear in risky business.
Wait, what?
A new Mandela effect is that Tom Cruise didn't dance in his underwear in risky business.
He was in white boxers and a white shirt, right?
And he came out and he slid on the wood floor, remember?
Yeah.
And now she's saying that didn't happen.
No.
Oh, dude, no fucking way.
No way. No way. 1983. If I can't play it, I'm gonna watch it. Don't blow my fucking mind here. I gotta watch the ad first. You guys go ahead and check this out on YouTube. I'm checking it out right now. I don't know about this one. This is gonna be Geffen Company release. I'm looking at the original version. Well, it's a pink shirt, right?
Yes.
Nope, he's got socks on, he's got his underwear on, he's got a shirt on. Absolutely, 100%. For everybody doubting it, right there, there's Tom Cruise.
But he doesn't dance?
He's dancing. He's singing and dancing.
Oh, phew.
Right there, he was singing and dancing. So, yep, we played it here, so if they change it.
You saw it here.
You saw it here.
That one almost got me. I was like, man, that made his career.
Yeah, he was in white briefs. It was like a button-up shirt and white briefs, and then white socks. All right, guys. Give you back a little bit of time of your day. I'm not doom and gloom, I promise you. There's light at the end of the tunnel. Think about this as growing pains. Is that we have to go through this, right? This is the inevitable. For 30 years, people have been talking about the New World Order, right? This has been a cancer in the world since the 1940s. And here's the thing, is we can reluctantly say that it's finally, this shit, this evil is finally bubbling to the surface, and we can fucking deal with it once and for all. That's the way I'm looking at it. The birthing process, because after this, humanity will forever be changed in a new direction. And imagine the things that we're going to accomplish after we get through this. All right. Much love. Take care. God bless. We'll see you tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time for Conversations on the Fringe. Topic to be announced. You guys all have a great evening, and take care.
Peace out.